Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, gamers, geeks, and helicopters alike. It's this week's Monkey Nut Punch podcast. If you're not busy invading another country, I suggest you come watch us. Okay, topical. And let's just leave it there. Right, so say hello, Nigel.
Hello, Nigel.
Keith, have you got these problems that you're experiencing, like kind of?
I don't think they're couth related. I've had a stinky headache all day, and my
camera won't stay in focus, and he's derped. He's lost him. That was the last we ever saw of Keith.
You see, you remember last week where you said, "Oh, I need to stop using this browser because it seems to have issues with the program we use." Keith's probably gone, "Oh, well, that sounds like a great browser to use, so I'll use that one."
Yes.
And,
now my browser's now set up so it just bloody it blocks everything, and it seems to work. Anyway, while Keith's sorting out his issue, Keith's sorting out his issue. Well, this week we will be talking about the Uncharted, Jack Reacher. Keith had some news about The Expanse that he wanted to cover, and I think there's probably some gaming news that I probably want to cover too. So let's start with Reacher. Let's see, Keith. He's back. He's back.
Don't know what happened there.
You were using the browser from last week that was causing issues with Gav.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right, where were we?
We were working out what we were talking about.
Ah, fair enough.
So, yes.
Where were we going to start? Was it Jack Reacher?
Jack Reacher. We're going to start with Jack Reacher.
Can I preface this? Hello, Keith. Hello.
And we got Bilfer, but he's hiding under the alias Fuzz Aldrin. It's lovely. He'll just be Bilfer always. It doesn't matter what he changes his name to. He'll always be Bilfer.
It was Bilfer. It was the only funny thing in that movie. That I took away from the movie and still makes me smile every time I see that. Brilliant name. Brilliant name. Genius.
What film's that?
Oh.
So it's from that the Moon film. What was it called?
Fuck You to the Moon.
It was something like that. You know, it was the Independence Day guy's latest disaster movie about the moon effectively crashing into the earth, right? And Samwise, Samwise is a nut job, conspiracy theorist, right? Professor dude, right? And his cat is called Fuzz Aldrin. I loved it.
I think if I was to have a cat, I'd call him something like Fuzz Aldrin too. It
was pretty cool.
So, if we're going to talk about Jack Reacher, I've seen the first 2 episodes, and I stopped watching because I thought it might be something my wife would like to see.
But you have read the book, right?
You know, there's many books.
Yes, but 20. You have read this. This is the first book, and you have read this particular book.
Have you read the book, The Killing Floor? That's the one, the Jack Reacher book, Killing Floor.
Okay. No, so I've got one.
I'm just checking because I don't want to spoil it.
Because I know
if you haven't read the book.
No, I've not read the book, but I've read another one of the books. I randomly picked up and went, "Oh, I'll read that book." Whatever. It doesn't really matter because you always, whatever book you get, it seems you get the gist of what this man's about. You get the gist of who he is at a surface level because you don't really seem to get a deep dive on him, but you see his experience, how big he is, how fucking massive he is in the books, and his skills and the way he goes about things, and that I feel translates into the series.
All I know about is Jack Reacher. He wanders from place to place. He doesn't live anywhere. He doesn't have any possessions. And he's a monster of a man. And that's from my father-in-law. That's how he described him. I went, it goes, and that's why I'm not watching. And then it finished with, and that's why I'm not watching the Tom Cruise version.
Yeah. Tom Cruise was not the right fit for that film. So he seems to be the right fit. I don't know, Keith, you've read the books.
I've read a couple of them. I read the first few, so I knew where the TV sit. For me, Gareth made a comment saying he's too pretty. I don't know. I think the guy's a big I'm more the thing that bothered me about the Tom Cruise movies were it was Tom Cruise, and Tom Cruise is not a 6-foot human tank. This guy is a human tank, and at least he kind of looks a bit like Reacher. Reacher is described as not being a pretty boy, and you could argue that this guy's a bit more Hollywood-esque. I kind of liked that. It worked for me. This series worked for me. I enjoyed the series. I'm going to put it out there.
I think they describe in the book. I say Lee Child describes Reacher as being about 6'5", and this fella, he looks it. Whether or not he might be 6'4", but still, that's fucking tall. Especially if you're built like that. If you're built like that and that tall, you look massive. You just look imperious. So I think as it goes, they seem to have got the casting right on this, and I really don't mind his acting either. I think he's doing a good job on it. There's nothing sitting there going, it seems a bit ropey. I don't know what you feel.
I think they got a lot more right with this than they did wrong. I think the casting was pretty good. I kind of enjoyed the sort of partnership between the reluctant police chief and Reacher. I liked the relationship between Reacher and the cop lady. I liked the fact that she wasn't your stereotypical woman. There were comments in there where Reacher's said you're built like like a leaf. You're not going to kick him. There was a realism to it. She was a powerful woman, but there was a reality to it, and I liked that. I mean, I've heard some people going, "Oh, it's slightly woke." As things go in Hollywood, this was pretty good. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the story. I knew where it was going, but I liked getting there. And the bad guys get their comeuppance at the end, and it's satisfying. So the ultimate, all of them really get the ones that you really want to see get it in the fucking face. Get it in the fucking face. So therefore, I came out smiling. I don't know how else to sum it up. There are moments I like where because I'm a dog person, obviously, and there's a dog that's been abused and Reacher. Okay, the bit where this guy goes, "I fucking told you to keep out," and Reacher just punches him in the nose. And I mean, it's not even a hard punch, and this guy just goes over like a sack of shit, and he just like that, and it's just a brilliant moment, and I cheered when that happened.
Is that the same one? I think it was the first episode or something where he jumps over a fence and this dog is just kept outside. There's no water in his bowl, and he jumps over, fills his bowl up with water, and then the man comes out of the house and says, "What are you doing to my dog?" He goes, "I was giving him some water. He was thirsty." It was like, "I was about to do that." No, you weren't, mate.
It's the same guy. It carries on throughout that story, and even the dog gets. Spoilers, Nigel. The dog gets a happy ending. So the fact that the dog got a happy ending made me smile as well. The fact that they left that detail in there right at the final episode made me smile even more. The dog got a happy ending.
It's just the bit I found funny was the fact we was trying to eat the peach pie, and every time we go to eat the peach pie, something would happen. He's like, "Oh, for God's sake!" It happens more than once, and then he gets to the end, and then he's like, "It's not that good."
I get the feeling that. Across the books, one of the things that Reacher does in each town, he goes to the local cafe or place and orders a peach pie just to have a peach pie in that place to say he's done it. I think that's his thing. And for him to not be able to eat what he's ordered because something always comes up.
Yeah. It's the characters were done. It felt like an adaptation of a novel done right. If that made any sense, I don't feel it stuck too much to the novel, but it was enough you could clearly see where the chapters were demarcated, even if they were in the middle of a bloody episode. But it was all put together. Everything made sense. Nothing. it took me out of the belief of everything going on, because when you sit there and he beats up 5 guys in a shower, it's like, dude, the man's a fucking monster. Yeah.
And when they come to the fight scenes with Reacher, the way Reacher fights, he doesn't punch people with a closed fist. He never hits them with a closed fist in case he accidentally breaks his hand. It's always slaps or chops or palm, and that's something that comes out of the military thing. So if you rewatch the fights, he's never closed fist. So I think they do explain that at some point, but that's something that
although he's not a closed fist, but the dog guy walks into his fist. I mean, it is a punch, and it's a satisfying punch. I think there was a realism to the fighting, and you are right. The final showdown at the end is pretty. It's pretty sort of grisly, but it's satisfying. There's a satisfaction to this. I mean, yeah, okay, you can get a bit sort of downhearted about his lifestyle, but there is the bad guys meet their comeuppance and the good guys win, and they're even though it's slightly gritty, there is that, and I enjoyed it. It was a good 8 hours of TV that kept me reasonably well entertained.
Yeah,
and it felt a bit more. I hate to say this is going to sound bad, but it felt masculine. You know, there's not enough masculine TV on TVs the other day. It felt masculine, and there was that's not a bad thing. It wasn't like chauvinistic. There was just a manly thing to it, if that makes sense.
Are we talking Expendables?
No, not quite to that level.
Not borderline testosterone, almost gay.
Yeah, the Expendables is kind of like right over to the fucking right, and but it's kind of, you've got so many things these days which are it's all about the female power. This was a nice welcome change.
I'm going to invoke that it felt like it was made in the 90s.
Yeah.
It felt like it was made in the 90s. It was, it was good. There was lots of good things in there, and we can't talk about any of the bloody bits that I enjoyed because Nigel hasn't seen it. And I did spoil the fact that he does get to eat the pie at the end, but I don't think that's a massive spoiler.
I like how he does eat the pie at the end. I like the comments at the end as well. That made me giggle. He eats the.
I do like it because it blends a little bit of action with a little bit of this is how I've got to this conclusion, investigative stuff. Not just going, oh, I've got it. It's one of those going, well, I think this because this means that, and then because of that, it's this. There is a little bit of a thought process that he gets to what he's saying and doing. And I like that.
Just a quick one, Keith. Did you spot Lee Charles at the end?
Yes, I think so.
Where was he? I can I know where he is. Can you tell me where you think you saw him? Because you need to keep an eye out for him.
Was he not in the cafe or something?
Yes, he bumped into him as he walked past in the cafe.
Was that near the end? I don't even know what he looks like.
Yeah, but even the moment where Reacher's mate turns up to help him, and she's a lesbian, right? Even that didn't feel interjected, didn't feel like it was there purely to because we have to have a lesbian. It felt like a genuine character, that they'd taken time to write this character, and I liked his mate. I thought she was pretty cool. Again, that this is the thing, it does feel like a 90s TV series because she wasn't a lesbian for the sake of being a lesbian. It made sense that she was a lesbian. If that, her whole, I don't think she was put there on purpose. I think she was put there. I don't think it was predetermined that it was going to be a lesbian. I think they wrote a lesbian character, and I think they wrote it not because of modern ideology.
I'll be honest with you. And she looked like a lesbian, but I didn't think she was a lesbian. I just thought she was in the army.
She was. There is a moment where I think she's eyeing up some bird, or they talk about her girlfriend or something. They do talk about it because she goes and beats the shit out of that guy that was. But even that should have been cliche, but it wasn't. That I could see through that, because you see the scene like that in any of these things in modern day, you just groan. But it felt, this felt somehow genuine. I don't know how to say it. It just didn't feel interjected there for the sake of interjecting it there. It felt there as part of the plot. It felt establishing her character, and it worked. So, if you're going to write like this, this is how you write. This is how you write. This was written well. And maybe it stands out more because it's written well.
It's weird because we had the guy who plays Reacher was in Smallville, played Aquaman.
Yes,
and he had Christine Kruick in there, who was also in Smallville.
She was in it, yeah. That's
I was about to say no. I was going to make a comment. Nice, Lana. She's still hot.
Yeah. And I couldn't believe she was dating that guy.
Dude, he was minted, mate.
Yeah, there is that.
Yeah, come on, he was minted.
Come on, he had a fuck ton of cash. So that's something. I'm going
to slightly screw quickly because I just need to ask you a question. Have you watched Peacemaker yet?
No, I don't know where to watch it in the UK without.
Dude, the final episode. Have you heard about the cameo at the end?
Yeah, we can save that for the and more at the bit. All right. Where was I? Will Robinson plays his younger self.
Yes, you're right. Yes, it was the actor that played Will Robinson from Lost in Space. Sorry, I was thinking about original Will Robinson.
Billy Mummy.
Yeah,
I was trying to figure out who Will Robinson was there until you said Lost in Space.
He's talking young Will Robinson, who between the second and the third season grew up quite a bit.
That's why I didn't recognise him. I've only seen the first series of that, and I remember you saying that's why
he had a growth spurt between the second and third season, let's just say. But in this he was pretty cool. Yes, he plays.
Malcolm's just messaged me on WhatsApp and gone, I'll sort you out for Peacemaker. I hope he does.
Please, Malcolm, because I want Gareth to see it, because I genuinely enjoyed Peacemaker, and the freaking cameo at the end is just awesome.
I'm trying to remember that. I've got my book here. I need to know now. 1 second.
I need to find out which book was it. Yeah, no, it was. It's a good series. Right now he's away. We can talk about fucking spoilers and bits. Yeah, so you had Finley. Oh fuck, he's come back now.
Yeah, sorry about that.
We're talking about spoilers. Go away.
It was called Make Me. Is the one that I read. It was 2015.
Okay.
This one was quite a lot. You're right. There's been quite a lot. This was based
book number
on the
20.
Well, this was based on the first book. This series.
Yeah.
Do you know what I find? I like the fact that it's not set in a big bloody city.
Mm-hmm.
I like the fact that it's somewhere that isn't New York or Los Angeles. I always appreciate it when American TV shows show me bits of America that I may not have seen, because it's a bloody big country, and I do enjoy, getting associated with other bits there. It's ironic because it feels quite homely American. It's written by an Englishman.
I liked the thing, and I know I keep going back to this, but again, you sort of had Deep South America, right, or the Deep South of North America. You had a black chief, and you could have so gone down that cliche, especially with modern ideology.
Oh no,
they touch on it, but they didn't go down.
No,
they didn't.
The way they play it off is better, because what they do is they say that because he's half a graduate, he's all fucking snooty. So it's a much better thing, because it's more on the character than on the race, which is the way you want it.
I liked, again, the fact that they didn't go down the modern, way that lazy storytelling goes these days, and they touched on it, and there were moments where, and in reality that does exist, but they didn't overplay it. They didn't, as you said, Gareth, they went a different route. And I like that.
And the thing I like too, he was a proper character.
Yes.
You had a proper character. He had some secrets that got revealed towards the end. Sorry, Nigel. He got some secrets revealed towards the end. Him and Reacher playing buddy cop on Stakeout was quite entertaining to watch. And then, he he was an important character in the whole thing alongside Roscoe and what's a mush. And the fact that the father stood up too at the end when it counted, fucking went in there and saved his kids. He just go in there, save the kids, we'll do the rest. Concentrate on getting the kids out. And my wife was watching it, and I can't. I know you were fucking Nigel. It's just I'll watch 2 episodes and I'll stop. Carry on. Just watch it.
No,
I watched the first 2 and I thought this is great. It's not one of those that is you don't have to think too much, but because they sort of do the thinking for you and explain what's going on, and then the action's good, and it's got a nice flow to it, and the actors, they all seem to be doing their job well. And I went, do you know what? I think my wife actually would want to watch this with me, so I'll stop now and I'll watch the first 2 again because I like the first 2. I'll watch them again.
Yeah.
And I mean, if I didn't feel that way, I wouldn't watch them again. If I didn't think it was any good, I wouldn't want to watch the first and the second episode again.
Yeah.
So I feel that is a good sign. So I went, okay, yeah, I'll stop now. I'll watch the first 2 again with my wife. Hopefully she'll like it. If she doesn't, then I'll watch it myself.
Unfortunately, it's terrible for the bloody podcast because you could have watched the entire thing, gone back and then rewatched it with the missus. Could have talked spoilers. Can't because you've not seen the whole thing.
Do you want me to take my headphones off for 5 minutes so you can speak?
Fine, because we can move on to Uncharted now. I watched Uncharted on Sunday. I wasn't intending to go to the cinema, but I got some crossed wires with a mate, and he was like, phones me up because I'm at the cinema. And I went, sorry? Because you're going to see Uncharted, aren't we? You said 8:20. I went, no, I said it's on at 8:20. I didn't say. I was like, shit. Did I? Fuck it. Because I got a pass. I just went straight in and I took a picture of my pass and went, use this to get the ticket. Yeah, a nice clear picture. I went, use this to get the ticket. And he says, I might use it again. He's like, you don't look like me. But I went and watched it on Sunday.
I went too.
Right. So
I went yesterday.
I think it was all. I was all right with it until it got to the end with the helicopters.
The helicopters were a bit.
The downdraft would have ripped those ships to shreds. And the thing is that Sony was so tight. Yeah, there's a plane. Sorry, an aircraft called a sky crane. Yeah, and they used it in Sawfish. And it is literally, when they describe it as a sky crane, it's designed to pick up heavy loads. And the cheapos at Sony went, no. What we'll do is we'll put a rope on the back, make it like a Chinook. Yeah, so we're going to have to pay the rights to show a sky crane. Which then we go even more downdraft.
Because those things.
Sorry.
They were a bit shit because the downdraft from them would have been straight onto the top of the ship, which would have forced it down, and it wouldn't. Yeah. Whatever.
Hang on a second. Let's rewind and get to the beginning because we've probably lost everyone there. So if we go right back to the beginning,
and this starts from the trailer.
Yeah, there's a bit in the trailer. Yeah, it is in the trailer. So the first problem I've got was Nathan Drake was a dive instructor. He used to go wreck diving. That was his job. Yeah, that's how he starts off. That's how he starts off at the beginning of the 4th game too, because he's gone back to being legitimate, and his legitimate job is a dive instructor. But for some reason, barman, petty thief. Yeah, he is a thief, but he's an exceptional thief. Yeah,
he's not a petty thief. Never has been one.
No, he's never been that. Him and Sully pulled off some almighty cons in their time. Yeah,
all quite elaborate.
He did start growing on me as the character. It was just the fact that they cocked the beginning up. As soon as they left New York and they started chasing down clues, I felt he was more Nathan Drake than he should be.
It was. What did you think about the? Well, they tease you a little bit, don't they? At the start of the film with the airplane sequence, and then it sort of cuts and then goes elsewhere. And then you have to work your way back to that airplane sequence. It's almost like they thought, well, we'll stick a bit of the airplane sequence in now, tease them to keep them interested so they don't fuck off and leave. So they stay for that.
Interesting fact that the aircraft sequence in Uncharted 3 where he gets thrown at the back of the plane and he's like hanging onto the things and he's waving around, yeah?
Yeah.
Apparently, when they made the game, Nolan North said that the poor stunt person spent 2 days as they were hanging him from tops of things with wind, having him flap around so they could have the motion capture for it. So some poor bastard in the original game had to hang on and go like that. Anyway, going back to
there was the bit also once they landed after a like sequence and they're coming out onto the beach. A fella goes to him, "Cool, what happened to you?"
Oh, that's Nolan North.
It's Nolan North,
and it's the fact that he turns around and goes, "Yeah, that happened to me a couple of years back."
Yeah, and they like looked at him and went, "What?" But that's why I went to I turned to my son and went, "That's Nolan North," and he went, "Who?" I went,
"Yeah,
oh, he's the actor in the game.
He's the guy.
That's why he said that.
He's the dude." Yeah, that was it was
okay. So
good.
The main hang up is the casting of Nathan Drake being Tom Holland. He's too young. It should have been Mark Wahlberg, if anything, because that's his sort of age range. And even my son, who has not played any of the games but seen me play it a little bit, goes, "Yeah, I think Mark Wahlberg should have been Nate Drake." I was like, "Yeah, I like Tom Holland, but it's not the right fit. Even the time scale, if it was a younger self, it's not right. It doesn't feel right."
It's right. I find it. I think Tom Holland could pull it off if they set him up correctly. Yeah, he should be out there doing the diving, and it should be with the reporter. I didn't like the casting for Chloe. She wasn't Australian enough for me because that's Claudia Black's character, and I know I've watched Claudia Black quite a lot in Farscape and Stargate and whatnot, and she didn't really come across because the actress has got quite a strong personality that comes through in pretty much everything. Nathan Fillion would have been Nathan Fillion and Claudia Black would have worked better, and we saw the thing. It was okay. Yeah, my wife said, "Do you want to? Should I go and watch it?" And I was like, "The Batman's coming out soon. We're going to see that." Jake Gyllenhaal, Chris Pratt would have worked. Chris Pine probably would have worked. Chris Hemsworth.
It's around that age that you need. Tom Holland's probably about 10 years too young.
I haven't seen Jake Gyllenhaal be snarky. I always thought that what's his mush? The one who plays Deadpool. Ryan Reynolds could pull off a thing. He just have to change the tone of the way he is.
He'd have to tone down the Ryan Reynolds
part
himself.
Of it. He'd have to be a separate person making the same snarky comments, if that makes sense.
He'd have to actually not play himself in a film.
Yes. Can you not be yourself for this film?
Could you just for this one film just act and pretend to be someone else? Yeah. Not play yourself. It's fine.
Yeah. So my wife's chatting to Chuck in the comments and watching it. Yeah, it was there were. I know why they gave what's his mush the part, because they want to keep him on side because they wanted to play Spider-Man. So this was a payday for him. He probably got paid quite a lot of money. It's weird because what was that film, Keith, with The Rock, Ryan Reynolds, and Gal Gadot recently on
Red Notice?
Red Notice.
Yeah, it was like a really good version of Red Notice. That's how I described the film. If Red Notice was done better, this is what it looked like. But the other thing, there wasn't much fighting. There's supposed to be like three, at least three
chapters.
Gunfights. 3 gunfights. So we had the bit. There was no. Yeah, there was. Yeah.
There was a bit where he finally put. You know when you start.
When it's tried to play the thing.
Put the thing on, and then with the gun holster, finally put that on. But that was right near the end of the film. It wasn't. And if you're
listening to the music, it starts to try and play the Uncharted thing, and it goes into it, and then it goes away from it. And it goes into it, and then it goes away from it. And it's just like, oh, come on!
It's a little tease.
Yeah. So no, it was frustrating. It was. It's like there's something there that could be good, but that's about it.
It was strange because, which I know they did the plane bit, which is from the third
game. Yeah,
third game. The other bits, I'm trying to remember if that was part of the first or second game. If that was something
there weren't very many. There was the pirate ship that was crashed in the thingy. I think it's from the 4th game, because that's where you fight the matey and it sets it on fire.
Yeah,
so that's from the 4th game.
That's from.
They should have lent into the Drake aspect of it, yeah, because he's related to Sir Francis Drake. Apparently, that's what he thinks. Yeah, and that was the thing. And if you'd have gone on that island, you'd have lots of things, like cool things to discover. Like you got the crashed Nazi U-boat up in the waterfall.
Yeah, there is,
which is mad.
I mean, had they, I think if they'd followed the first game, for example, and that storyline through, polished it up a little bit, that would have been a good storyline anyway. And then they could make 3 games out of it. But what 3 games? They could have made 3 films out of it, maybe 4, maybe 5 if they do the Chloe and whatever her name, Nadim side of things. But they didn't. They've merged up 3 games into 1 film.
Well, they pinched bits.
They did.
They pinched bits. So
I'm with you though. I think once they started doing the investigating and going underground and all that sort of bits, that was quite good. I like that. That's why I play Uncharted, because of those bits where they discover something and you have to work a puzzle, and that's what the Uncharted game's about.
Yeah.
True. Ryan Reynolds cannot be. He can't play anyone else.
I don't know if Keith is ill or he's just got a pink monitor. I'm looking a bit jaundiced because I've not adjusted my light correctly. But
sorry, I didn't have the energy to set up the studio this week, so it's probably my wallpaper.
Right, this is what I think. Yeah, this is absolutely spot on. Adapting a video game like Uncharted into a movie should be the easiest win ever. Modern day Indiana Jones. That's all it is.
Yeah,
just on that front, I think they failed. Yeah.
Follow it through. End.
Yeah.
Second game. Follow it through. That's the second film. Done. Because they play like really elongated movies, don't they?
Yeah. All you have to do is work out what you're going to strip out to keep the pacing going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Yeah, I don't understand why they went that way, but
basically, it's a movie. I used to watch Gareth play it. She put move no. Oops, typo. It was,
yeah. Well, it's essentially all the Uncharted games are like movies that you play. They just take many hours to play.
Yeah, I'm a little annoyed because even the Destroyer franchises, what's his mush? The one I really hate, J.J. Abrams. He thought the beginning of Uncharted 2 was one of the best beginnings he's ever seen for anything, and that it is. The bit where he's sitting on the train and he's like, kind of, oh, my head really hurts, and he's got a big gushing bloody wound on his head, and and all of a sudden something comes flying towards him. He turns around and he realizes he's hanging off the edge of a bloody cliff.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think so. The games are like movies that you play. Good storyline, fairly good action. You could just trim down the action. I reckon, thinking about it, you could take all the CGI bits from the first game. Take all the CGI bits, and then just make yourself a little movie from that. If
you Google on YouTube, you can probably find someone who's put it together as a movie.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. It's
they
okay.
have. There's lots of people do it for all games. They take all the cutscenes and put them together into movies. There's loads of versions of all the Uncharted games.
With Uncharted, you also have to put the set pieces in there too. So when you're
depends,
because you get the playing aspect of it too. So yeah, I need to send the airplane sequence to my mate Carl just so he knows what it's supposed to look like. Because it was okay, apart from he's supposed to destroy the plane completely. When you play the game, he sets the plane on fire, and it's like, oh shit, I've really fucked up this time. Which is good. All right, so you had some interesting news about The Expanse.
So I had a sneaking suspicion the way season 6 went that it felt very much like they weren't ending. And
no, they weren't ending. They said that before they started.
Well, they said it's ending on Amazon, and then and the way they were talking in the afterwards shows that it was ending, right? But it now turns out that they've storyboarded 3 movies. Now, the reason they did this was to work out how much it would cost to make them. And Amazon have turned that down. But the company that owns The Expanse, that makes The Expanse, because it wasn't made by Amazon, Amazon just bought or paid for the show off this company, is now shopping around. And one of the people it's gone to is Netflix. And I thought, well, why Netflix? And then I suddenly remembered, where did I first watch The Expanse? In fact, where did most people first watch The Expanse? That would be Netflix, right? And in actual fact, most people you talk to around the world, including the US, never discovered it on the Sci-Fi Channel. They discovered it either on Amazon when it later thing, or Netflix. And Netflix haven't told them to piss off, is the rumor. Now, whether we are going to get a full-blown season 7, which apparently they have done some preliminary work for, but the fact is that the company is actively trying to get some continuation made, and that a lot of the cast and crew are still on some kind of retainer contract, not through Amazon, but through the original production company that makes this. Either way, the guy that signed up to play Duarte has a clause that he has to come back and play him. So that guy that you saw is the guy that's going to play Duarte. They're not going to recast him. That they cast the guy that played Duarte with a multi-season role. So
we've read the books. He's in the third to last and last, and he disappears in the middle. Well, he's asleep pretty much in the middle.
Put it this way: it looks like we're going to get some form of the last 3 books. Rumor is that they'll just age up the actors and make them up. But there is they're looking at either doing seasons or finishing it off with movies. Now, you could do the final 3 books as 3 movies. You could. It wouldn't be as good, arguably, as TV series, but so far, the 7th book that I've read so far, you could put that into a movie and it would work. You could put the book that I've read now, because I'm like halfway through the 7th book. Most of that you could condense down into a movie. You know, it would work. You know, the Conians come back through they and basically go to war and fuck everyone over. That is pretty much what happens. And then Viva la Resistance.
It's when they find it. I like. Have you got to the bit in the book where they find a box and it says, "If charge drops below 50%, please, contact someone."
No, the bit where so the Tempest has just blown up the Void City. We're just in the aftermath. So they went to they blew up one of the Void Cities. So it was the first sort of contact with what they're calling the EMC, the Earth-Mars Alliance. And Avasarala was on the ship with Drummer. I love the fact that she's still alive.
I love the fact that she pretends to be senile, so people leave her alone.
I love that. I was about to say, I love the line in the book where Drummer looks over and notes that Avasarala is sitting in the corner, chewing spidachios and looking like a senile nut job just to be left alone. When in actual fact, she's incredible. Her body is deteriorating, but the mind is still there, and she still swears like a fucking trooper. I love her.
Love
that. That did make me giggle several times out. But yes, so lots of videos about it all over the news. But I like the fact that we are now getting some more information that they are actively trying to get this made, so that they might.
No, if because I think that they're going to do a 5-year time jump. The reason I say that is because when Clarissa at the end of the series had the system check gave her 5 years, which would fit with the end of the first book.
The fact that they also gave Avasarala some kind of terminal illness or hinted at it in the additional episodes. What do they call it? The when X-ray you have to go into the X-ray episodes, that they hinted that
which are only available on the app.
No, they work on my TV.
They work on your TV. They weren't when it first came out. It wasn't working.
Oh, well, they work on it on my TV now because I've been watching them.
They all start off with
on the TV. So
okay, well I got the same TV as you, and I didn't get X-ray on it. Maybe they fixed it because people were complaining about it.
I watched them on because I don't watch that on the iPad. It's born for a big ass TV expanse, so you have to watch it on it. But no, as I've been sort of like chipping away at the books because I'm determined to get them all done now. And I have to say I'm enjoying the 7th book, but I could see them making that. It didn't surprise me when somebody said, "Oh, we could make that into a movie." You could much more than I think you could have done the 6th season in 6 episodes, because there's a lot more that goes on in that book, having read the book, than there is in the TV series. I never understood until you told me. Now I realise that Drummer and Pa are the one and the same character in the TV series, but in the they're two separate.
It is interesting the way they changed Drummer's character several times over, because my father-in-law's just finished watching it and he's like, he really enjoyed it, and one of the things he says, he likes the fact that you got Bobby, who's a strong woman, but she's like fucking 6'4". So in the book she's 6'4", so she's a strong woman who is actually built like a fucking tank, and then you put her in power armor and that, and it's the book's got some bits in there. I think you'll be a little pissed off between books 7 and 8. There'll be something that happens between those 2 books, and you'll just be like, "What the fuck?" Pardon my language. Yeah, you're going, "Why did they do that?" And that's one of kind of the dumb things that they do in the books. Everyone has their moments, which is good. And what's so much? There's a fight in the 8th book, which is reminiscent of something that we do in Homeworld, and I swear to God that when you listen to the tactics that are being employed, it's like, that's what I do in Homeworld. So it's like, no capturing ships though. There's no capturing ships, but it's one of the tactics that you use in Homeworld when you're trying to destroy a superior force with smaller numbers.
I hope that Netflix and the fact that they did that in season 6, the fact that they gave us the glimpse of the orbital shipyards, and they gave us a glimpse of Duarte, and they gave us a glimpse of Laconia. It's like, come on, you want to make it. Somebody give them fucking money. Fuck Bezos. He was never the right place. And anyway, Amazon Prime's going downhill. They're about to lose billions in Lord of the Rings. It's so glorious watching what's going on at the moment. It is. I am, as a Tolkien fan, this isn't even the anti-woke people, right? This isn't even anti-woke people reacting. This is Tolkien fans reacting. This is people going, Peter Jackson. What did Peter Jackson do? The first thing he did before he hired actors, before he hired a studio, what was the first fucking thing he did? He hired 2 Tolkien scholars to make sure it was faithful to the text. That's why everyone loved those movies, right? They bent the things, they didn't put certain things in, but people forgave them because the Tolkien movie, those Peter Jackson movies, the first 3, let's not talk the Hobbit movies, were faithful to the text. What's the first thing to do? Have you seen that dreadful fucking video from those English super fans?
No, hang on. Have you heard? No. Wait a second. Have you heard that a Spanish version exists with pretty much the same reaction? A French version exists, pretty much the same reaction. It's like they've made their own fans up.
How
this
can
is so
you get
weird.
It so wrong? how can you spend $1 billion on something? How do you get it that wrong? How? I mean, come on. At the end of the day, you want to make money. How do you get it that wrong?
This will be the death now. It's like the CW. The CW it was slightly woke, and then it just went all balls to the wall woke. Yeah.
Except with Superman, which is still okay.
The second season's kind of gone a bit downhill.
Well, the last episode I saw was quite interesting, so it's still okay, shall we say? It's had its moments where I've gone like that, and then it's kind of clawed back again. And in the last couple of episodes, it's been clawing back a bit, and I'm going, okay, this could be interesting. So I don't know, but it's the only thing I watch on the CW. I no longer watch The Flash. I no longer watch Blood. I don't watch any of it. I do not watch any of it. I'm sitting there the other day going, what the hell do I watch now? Because there is just nothing. I mean, I resorted to watching Inventing Anna, which was actually quite interesting on Netflix. This is the shit that I've got to. I watched Reacher and did Reacher in a day because it was so damn good and refreshing that I've got nothing to watch at the moment. I've started watching Billions because somebody recommended it to me. So I started watching that. Now, that opens up with a guy getting a cigarette stabbed on him and then a woman pissing on him. So there's something in it. If you're going to open up a TV series, that's one way to go. Definitely
the one I keep getting in my feeds is Peaky Blinders.
I've seen it and love Peaky Blinders. I haven't watched the first episode of season 6 yet. I'm going to say something slightly controversial. My favourite character, or one of my favourite characters from Peaky Blinders, unfortunately, tragically, the actor passed away, or actress passed away, and I really think Peaky Blinders is going to miss her because she was awesome, and actually she was an essential character and kind of it's really Peaky Blinders is going to miss her. It's a tragedy, actually.
Yeah, I think I watch Peaky Blinders. Okay, all right. I've got one last thing to end with. Right, do you want some good news or do you want to hear someone mental?
Well,
is it either or?
It's degrees of mental, considering what's going on at the moment. How mental is it?
Completely, on a scale of 1 to batshit, this is probably 7.
Fair enough.
So good news or mental? Come on.
I want to talk about the Peacemaker thing just before we go because it just.
I haven't seen it. You have to wait.
Yes, but you know about the Justice League bit. You know about.
Yes, I know. Okay. All right. Yes, I know about the Justice League bit in there. I think. Can we get rid of fucking Ezra Miller as the Flash and have Grant Gustin as the Flash?
Was fun. It was fun. So Nigel, basically, right, the end of the Peacemaker saves the day, right, and they somehow convinced DC to allow 2 of the actors and the other 2 are silhouetted of the Justice League being there. So there's Aquaman and Ezra Miller's Flash, right? And Peacemaker goes, "You're late, you dickheads," and then he turns around to Aquaman and goes, "Go fuck another fish," like that. I mean, Jesus, like that. And Aquaman, the real Aquaman, Jason Momoa goes, "I'm really getting sick and tired of that rumor." And then Barry turns around and he goes, "It's not a rumor though, is it?" And then Jason Momoa's Aquaman just goes, "Fuck off, Barry." And I was like, see, now Marvel would never, ever do that. So I have to say, full respect to DC for allowing that to happen. Aquaman fuck fish.
I don't think that sounds. That doesn't. It's not very DC though, is it?
It's not, but it was brilliant. It was brilliantly funny, and you have they talk about Superman, they talk about Batman throughout all of Peacemaker, and then they turn up the end, and all he says, "Go fuck another fish." Fucking brilliant. I really enjoyed Peacemaker. I have to admit, I genuinely quite enjoyed its quirkiness. And yeah, you've got to see it. It was genuinely quite good. It's very much in the vein of that second Suicide Squad movie. So if you enjoyed the Suicide Squad movie, which I think we all did, you should like Peacemaker, and it's got a second season. So,
so that's a TV show. What is it on?
Well, I don't know. I thought it was on Sky there. No?
Nope, not on Sky.
This is HBO Max.
I thought it'd be on Sky Atlantic, but it's not.
You don't have HBO Max in the UK, do you?
No.
No, we have Sky Atlantic, which is pretty much the dumping ground for HBO Max shows. Anyway, where was I? Good news or mental news? Come on, quickly, pick one.
I'll have a good news.
Mental news. Oh, good news. Go on then.
Right, good news. Okay, all right. I'll do both.
Yeah.
All right, so Microsoft are in early talks with Obsidian to do Fallout New Vegas 2. Now, I love that game. That was one of the best games. I don't think it had the best map, but probably had the best kind of gameplay and story bits to go with it.
I think you played that one to death, didn't you? Not just on one
I played it
console,
on my PlayStation, I played it on my Xbox, I played it on my PC. Then I played it on my Xbox One. I didn't play on the PlayStation 3 because you couldn't get it backwards compatible. It's fantastic because Microsoft have taken over. They've turned around and gone, why the hell have you not made Fallout New Vegas 2? And they've gone, you're making Fallout New Vegas 2. Fantastic. So Bethesda will now hopefully start making games that we want rather than Fallout 76.
It does seem like Microsoft has slowly... Yeah, I saw that. That made me laugh. We're going to see Elliot Page. We're going to see Elliot Page soon because the Umbrella Academy Season 3 is coming very soon.
Okay, just for the podcast listeners, because nobody read it out, we've had a comment. Ezra Miller is the only guy on Earth who would lose to Elliot Page in a fight. That's what made them laugh. Just for you podcast listeners.
I knew there was something I wanted to talk about, and I said it in the chat earlier, and I couldn't remember what it was. The news. You've heard the news about
Ukraine?
No, Netflix program. My
recently,
brain has just completely died. Season 4 of what's its face? You know, the Upside Down.
Having a Joe Biden moment.
What's the series called? The Upside Down. My brain.
Stranger Things.
Stranger Things. Joe?
Season 4 has got something in the region of like 18 or 19 episodes. So they are splitting the season in two. We're getting the first part of it in a couple of months, and then like a month and a half or 2 months later, we're getting the other half. But it's got like a shit ton of episodes, and they've announced season 5, which is its final season.
I'd just like to point out, because Stranger Things has been away for such a long period of time, I stopped caring. I really have. I've stopped caring. The kids aren't cute anymore. You know, like, oh, look at the 11-year-olds playing Dungeons and Dragons.
It has been so long since, you know, and the fact, I really didn't like the fact that they released that Harper was still alive in that trailer, because it would have given the fans ages to sort of theorize that he was the American in the dodgy remain nameless people's jail. Yeah, I'm just waiting to see if season 4 gets delayed.
Yeah,
because I think it might again. It really depends on the next couple of weeks, but I can really see season 4 getting delayed, considering some of the storyline has got to touch on something you don't want to go near with the Barge Roll right now. So,
at some point, I'll watch season 2.
Oh, Jesus Christ, no. So, season 3, right? Spoilers, Nigel. I'm sorry, but it's been 3 fucking years. So, season 3 ends with certain Cold War enemies portaling under the mall.
Keith, stop talking. I've just come up with a great line of videos that we can do. Yeah. And what it is me and you explained to Nigel a TV series that everybody's watched.
Except Nigel.
But here's a trick. We're not allowed to say the name of the show, so people have to guess towards the end.
Yeah, that could be funny.
That could be a podcast.
That could be funny. Could we try explaining to him Tiger King season 2?
What the fuck can you do Tiger King season 2? It's very exotic. Try not to get bummed in the prison showers.
There is a Tiger King season 2. There is a season 2. It's aired.
Apparently so.
And we're getting a season 3.
Really? A Tiger King season 2?
This is season 2.
I couldn't get through season 1.
You think
the first one? You cannot top the first one for just the. You cannot.
Dude, you watch season 2, your mind will just go. And you'll be like, no way is this shit real. Oh,
I really want.
I struggled with season 1, to be honest.
I just want the FBI to turn up to people's houses and go, the Constitution says you can have guns, but doesn't say anything about tigers. Take them all fucking away.
Season 2 will blow your mind. And it's only 5 episodes because there's a reason why it is, because we're getting a season 3. And that's not to mention is it on Amazon or Netflix? Where's the movie? No, it's on Amazon, I think. The movie, the Tiger King movie with there's a trailer for that where you've got what's her face, that woman from Saturday Night Live who was in the female Ghostbusters playing Carol Baskin, and then the guy that's playing Joe Exotic is doing a very good job of playing Joe Exotic. So
it's not Nicolas Cage. Because
Nicolas Cage no, it's not. Unfortunately, Nicolas Cage pulled out of it. It would have been brilliant. The thing. I tell you what, I did see the other day, and that was Pam and Tommy. That has got to be the most realistic pair of prosthetic fake tits. This is weird. So the actress playing Pamela Anderson is topless, but the boobs are not real. They are makeup. They are like prosthetic boobs. And then in the 3rd episode, Tommy's penis starts talking to him, and that is another prosthesis thing.
And this is on Disney Plus.
Robotic cock to it. Yes, it's on Disney Plus. They strapped.
Well done,
God, I wish I'd been in there.
The entertainment there.
They strapped a robotic cock, which turns around and starts fucking talking to him.
Is he high? Gotta be high.
I have no fucking idea how they managed to film that, because I wouldn't have been able to get through the filming. I would have just been in fits of laughter at this robotic cock going, hello. So if you haven't seen Pam and Tommy yet, that's quite interesting.
Not a family program.
On that bombshell.
No, what's the crazy news? You promised us the crazy news.
The crazy news.
We want the mental news.
All right, okay. So there was. Hang on a second. Can I share my screen? It's all right, because where I've turned entire screen. Trying to figure out it's number 1, isn't it? Can I share? No, it's all right, because I've locked out this thing, so the program works. I can't share the screen because it's on a separate bloody tab. Okay, there was a game director who came up with the original God of War. His name's David Jaffe, yeah? And I think David Jaffe might be having some, shall we say, some darker moments, yeah? Because he's... Right. Right. Computer game characters are not real. They are not real. They will not be real. There's too much to make a person up for a computer game character that consists in the megabytes, maybe gigabyte range, which isn't enough to constitute an animal, let alone a person. But for some reason, Dave Jaffe asks the question, and this is the bit where I think that something's wrong in his head, because it's absolutely mental. He asks, David Jaffe poses a hypothetical question, asking gamers if they would kill minority NPCs for an easy automatic platinum trophy. That's not how platinum trophies work, mate. I know, because I've got a few, and you have to do like 1 billion tasks. Yeah, it was like 10,000 points for the equivalent for the Xbox thing. So the dickhead, yeah. Why are you asking that question? Yeah, the closest that you get to that question is in Modern Warfare 2, the level called No Russian.
Yeah, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, where you murder an airport full of people. Okay. So
yeah.
But he's like kind of one. He goes. He tries to be nice to NPCs. Why don't you become vegan? Seriously. Why don't you become a vegan and be nice to animals instead?
It's just the cool thing to say at the moment, isn't it? I mean, it's
no, it's retarded,
thing.
Keith. This is.
But most of these people are. most of these people are retarded. Most of these people need sectioning. I mean, seriously, that God, oh God.
Right, so one of the questions is like kind of he says a minority field, and he's put like kind of Jewish, black, LGBT, Muslim, etc. I remember the Pulse nightclub. I think that happened at the Pulse nightclub by another person in that list because of another reason in that list. Because of, oh my God, for the love of fuck me. Some people need to be like Twitter. Right, if we can create a virus that will destroy Twitter, I can save human civilization. You think climate change is a problem? Twitter's the problem. Yeah, we can end this. Yeah,
I will
remove
say,
Twitter and everything will be fine.
Just to end on a slightly more sort of interesting note, how much does Game Pass on the Xbox, you know, the full fucking thing, cost you a month?
£11.
So
yeah, I think if you're not paying for the console at the same time, it is around £11-12.
So the rumor is that the PlayStation 5 equivalent is coming, but it's going to be around about the £16 to £17 mark per month. So would you boys be interested in that? Are there any fucking games on the PS5 that are worth it at this point in time? Because I can't see it.
I'll be honest with you, I'm struggling with the Games Pass stuff. I think Back for Blood, and I've bought games after that.
I think there's more in the Xbox One than there seems to be in the...
I'm one of the only people in the world who really likes that film.
I've seen that film and did quite like it.
I really like it, yeah.
I thought it was an interesting film.
Yeah, it is an interesting film. It is a bit mad. It's like kind of we're going to reignite the sun with this tiny little thing, which would be the equivalent of not even a speck of dust. It's that small, but it was a good. It had a good, you know.
If you're struggling for something to watch, do watch the Peaky Blinders because it is boy order that Peaky Blinders. It is worth watching.
I've seen the first episode, and I've not gone back.
I've seen it, and I like it. It gets more interesting. Each season has a different thing. It's kind of quite political and against quite a lot of history, especially in season 5, where when Tommy sort of becomes an MP. It's pretty good actually. Peaky Blinders. Yeah, Thomas Shelby becomes an MP.
Oh my God!
By order of Peaky Blinders. It's
okay.
Again, it's proper geezers.
I've just seen lots of clips with Cillian Murphy.
Has your brother Alex never seen
probably
it?
Has. He probably
because
has.
Because it's Alex all over. It's just by order of
Peaky Blinders have modelled how they speak off Alex.
Yeah, pretty fucking
video that we did ages ago.
With a slightly more Brummy accent, but
with a little bit of a Brum accent on there, yeah.
Yeah, if your brother came over by order of the Perrys, yeah,
the Perry Blinders.
The Perry
Blinders. Sounds like the fucking acid attackers in London.
It's just where you piss in someone's face. That's a Perry Blinder.
That's how Billions opened.
That's how he gets paid. On that bombshell?
Yeah, on that bombshell. Guys, just wave, and I'll press the button. Thanks for watching. Bye.
I'm glad you ended it. I'm getting to the point where I was going, yeah.